Good evening. I would like to call this meeting to order at 6 p.m. And for the audience tonight, my name is David Friedendahl. I am the mayor of Glendora and serve as the presiding officer over city council meetings. In consideration of others and the business to be conducted tonight, please silence your phones and any other electronic devices you might have and refrain from speaking unless recognized. Again, this is a public meeting for the community of Glendora. We appreciate and respect your participation here. For the record, all members of the council are present and awake and ready to go, so that's good. I would like to ask on behalf of our guests that are here, and it is a school night, and their students and family, if we might consider reordering some business to do this recognition in advance of our closed session.
You need a motion or just affirm it?
Nope.
Anyone have any objection to
No.
doing that?
No.
Wow, that's great. Thank you very much. And with that, let's go find that. It's on page 12 or something like that. So here we go. I got it. So we would like to take this opportunity to recognize some very special students from the very special school of Foothill Christian School here in town, and a significant accomplishment. And to do that tonight, I've asked Councilmember Thompson to make her presentation. So, sir?
Mayor, thank you. And it's great to have all of you here. And Foothill Christian School has been a very important part of our town here for 60 years. 713 kids go there, and I have two that are attending there, a girl in 8th grade and a boy in 4th grade. And so I have some investment in that school, and I'm also playing golf for the school on Monday. So if you want to laugh, come out and watch an old guy play golf, and history will be made, because I probably won't make one putt. And history is what you guys are here for, because 4 of you have done an amazing job to compete with over 50,000 students that are in your grade. And to make a long story short, 4 of you are in the top 1% of the kids that did that work. And I believe, I'm told, that the four that we're going to recognize tonight are taking a trip back east to further show and compete in what you have done. And so we are so proud of you, because what you've done is really important, and you are a part of history, not only here in town, but at your school, and you are making that as you do incredible things. I've been on this earth for 71 years, and I've seen a lot of history made, some good and some not good. So I want to express for all of us how happy that we are, how pleased we are to be able to recognize each of you. So I want to call your names, and probably what would be good is for you to come up here, because we want to take a group shot of you, each one of you with us, and then the 4 of you with us, okay? So would that be good? So the first person I want to call up is Aiden. Where is Aiden? Aiden, thank you for the wonderful job. So why don't you come on up here. Aiden, man, look at that. You're a regional champ and everything. Great job. So just stand right here. The mayor's here, and this is the certificate for you to have for the rest of your life. You want to count down?
1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3.
All right. So Aiden, why don't you just step right over there to the side, and let me call up another friend of yours. And the next person, the next student is Jude. Where is Jude? All right, Jude. Great History Challenge. Congratulations, man. So just stand right here. Give you this.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you. And is Evelyn here? Evelyn, great. Congratulations to you on what you've done to compete in the Great History Challenge. Thank you. Just stand right here.
1, 2, 3. 1 more.
Thank you. And last but not least is Ella. Congratulations on what you've done in the Great History Challenge. Thank you.
1, 2, 3. 1 more.
All right. Before you come up, just stay here. I want to get a group shot. Is this good for all of the moms and dads and grandparents, the teachers?
1, 2, 3. 1 more.
I know you guys want to get closer.
They've done such amazing work, so.
If I had a phone, I would take a picture.
There you go.
If I had my own phone, I would take a big person.
You got it.
1, 2, 3,
1,
cheese.
2, 3,
Cheese.
and 1, 2, 3, cheese.
Good job. Nailed it.
One more? Read a hand for one more.
One behind you.
Good job.
Good job.
Great, good job.
Great, thank you. Could I just see if Bo would like to come up and just take a minute? You're on the clock, a minute. And here, Bo, just go to that, that mic, and maybe you can say whatever words that a superintendent would like to say to these amazing kids.
Well, they make us look good. They're wonderful students, and they love history, and it shows. That's why they perform so well in this national competition, and we're all very proud of them. And we're very proud of their teacher, Sam Bowser. Samantha Bowser has been with us for a long time. She's an incredible teacher. She has a heart for the kids, a passion to teach, and to make history come alive in their lives. And so thank you for the recognition. It means a lot to them and to our family. So appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, thank you.
Thank you very much. Congratulations, parents and students. Okay, getting back to our order of business. At this time, I would like to invite the city attorney to read us into closed session and the titles into the record.
Yes, Mayor. There are 3 items listed in the closed session agenda packet tonight. The first is a closed session which is authorized pursuant to Government Code Section 54957, point 6 regarding labor negotiations with respect to the Glendora Police Managers Association and the Glendora Police Officers Association. The second is a closed session that's authorized pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.8 regarding real property negotiations, and the property address is listed in the agenda packet as 1762 Dale Road. And the third item involves also real property negotiations, which is authorized pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.8 regarding certain properties that are owned by the Glendora Unified School District that are located at various APNs and addresses, the first of which is 350 West Mauna Loa Avenue. The second is 301 South Lorraine Avenue, and the third is 1134 South Barranca Avenue.
Thank you, Mr. Attorney. At this point, I would like to open public comment, invite members of the public to address this legislative body. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes, speaking once only on closed session items. If you are in attendance, please fill out a speaker card and submit it to the recording admin before the close of the public comment period. Once recognized, speakers should advance to the podium, state your name and the subject matter to which you discuss. I don't see any in the room, but is there anyone who wishes to speak? Seeing none, have we received any correspondence?
We have not, Mayor.
We have not. Thank you. Then at that point, I will close public comment and convene us into closed session at 6:12 p.m. Thank you very much.
If you need the opera plate pass, Karen
I could use
can
that.
orchestrate it. Get some more, Measure A money.
Good evening and welcome back if you were here earlier. We've come out of closed session. And let's see where we're at here. We'll reconvene at 7:09 PM. And if I may ask the city attorney to read us out from closed session and report on any actions that may have occurred.
Yes, Mayor, honorable council members, 3 items were had in closed session. First was with respect to labor negotiations, which is authorized pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6 regarding the Police Managers Association and the Glendora Police Officers Association. The second was real property negotiations that's authorized pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.8 regarding the real property located at 1762 Dale Road. And the third was also a real property negotiation that is authorized pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.8 with respect to certain properties that are owned by the Glendora Unified School District located at three different school district sites at 350 West Mauna Loa Avenue, 301 South Lorraine Avenue, and 1134 South Barranca Avenue. The staff gave a status report to the council on each of these items, and a general discussion was had, but no reportable action was taken.
Thank you, Mr. Attorney. And I'd like to call to order our general business session and welcome for the audience here tonight. My name is David Friedendahl. I am the mayor of the city of Glendora and serve as the presiding officer over these council meetings. In consideration of others and the business to be conducted tonight, we would ask that you silence any phones or electronic devices and refrain from speaking unless recognized. Again, this is a public meeting up for the community of Glendora. We appreciate and respect your presence and participation here this evening. To start off our program, I would like to ask for an invocation and pledge of allegiance. And leading us tonight in our invocation will be the Pastor Mike Churchill of Cornerstone Bible Church, followed by a pledge of allegiance by the Assistant Chief Steve Cabrera of the Los Angeles County Fire Department. So, Pastor Churchill, would we all like to rise, please?
Thank you. Let us pray. Father, we thank you for the city of Glendora and for the members of the city council who preside over its citizens. We would ask you that you would anoint the mayor and the city council with wisdom and insight, humility and direction as they seek to lead and care for a variety of needs and concerns over this city. We thank you for protecting our city and its members. We ask that you would grant a special blessing over the first responders who faithfully risk their lives to protect the lives of others each and every day. We add an additional request that you would watch over the men and women who serve in different capacities of the police and fire and healthcare. Protect them in their service and provide for the various needs as they care for the citizens of our fair city. Additionally, we want to thank you for the men and women who are serving in the armed forces throughout the world to endeavor to promote peace. We are grateful for the freedoms that we exercise here because of their great sacrifices. Please watch over their families in their absence, and we ask that you would bring them back to us safely. Likewise, we offer intercession for the many veterans who have served faithfully, and we request for both citizens and agencies that they would express their gratitude in tangible ways. Now, guide in this meeting, we pray for understanding, attentiveness, mutual respect, and cooperation. Lastly, would you remind us as we daily act justly, love mercifully, and walk humbly with you, O Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Please place or face the flag. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor Churchill, very much, and thank you, Chief. At this point, we're at a point where we offer to reorder the agenda. I will share that we did a reorder prior to the start of the closed session and made one of our presentations to the students of the Foothill Christian School. So while that is on our agenda, it has been completed prior to the beginning of closed session, so will not be done here. I'll ask, is there any other interest in reordering the agenda? Seeing none, thank you very much. Moving on to public comment, I will open the public comment period and invite members of the public to address the legislative body. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes, speaking once on both on and off agenda items. If you are in attendance and wish to speak, please fill out a speaker card, a yellow card like this. They are available at the front counter, and I think our admin might have some as well. Fill out the information on the card and leave it with our recording admin before the end of public comment period. Once recognized, please approach the podium and state your name and the subject you wish to discuss and share your comments. With that, I have some in hand, so I will start in no particular order and ask Mr. Ash Nayak to come forward, and welcome, sir, and you may come to the podium, and it is yours.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor and council members. My name is Ash Nayak. My family and I have been residents of this city of Glendora for 35 years. And many of us moved to the families and myself, we moved to the city of Glendora for the high quality of life, excellent schools, and strong sense of safety. But unfortunately, I'm here tonight to express my deep concern regarding the recent surge in the robberies, burglaries, thefts affecting the Morgan Ranch neighborhood. During the past several months, like 2 months, we had 6 known robberies around the Morgan Ranch area. And this increase in the crime, and the string of the robberies has shaken the sense of security and have left all the residents in our neighborhood vulnerable, frustrated, and increasingly worried about the safety of our families. And so I'm here to urge the council and honorable mayor to recognize this repeated incidents and affecting the residents and the peace in the community that we enjoyed for many years. We respectfully request the council and the city of Glendora PD and surrounding the community work together to develop a plan of action, including the timeline for the increased security efforts to reduce this crime and the robberies that keep going. We look forward for some help from city officials and these council members.
Understood.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you
Mr.
very much.
Nayak. Stick around. We may have a little information to share with you, so don't run away. Thank you. Next, I'd like to introduce Erica Landman. Erica, please come forward and welcome.
Good evening. My name is Erica Landman. I live in Glendora. Back on March 23rd, I received an email from the City of Glendora regarding such things as my thoughts on how the city's doing, what are main concerns, etc. Basically, I received a survey from the City of Glendora. It came in text form and email. After about the fifth question, a very benign question popped up asking how familiar am I with the South Hills Wilderness Park? And then another one, how often do I visit the South Hills Wilderness Park? And then the following question popped up. The City of Glendora owns, and I'm quotation marks, so the City of Glendora owns 350 acres of undeveloped property in South Hills. Some have proposed that the city sell approximately 50 acres of the property that is right next to the 210 freeway for commercial and residential development. As part of the deal, the developer would be required to make improvements to South Hills, including creating a network of trails, new recreational amenities, and building a community center that would be available for public use. From what you heard, would you support or oppose this proposal? I responded with, I strongly oppose, okay? When I ran for Glendora City Council, preserving the South Hills Wilderness Park was a primary concern for the residents in Area 3. Most importantly, the South Hills Wilderness Park has a comprehensive system of hiking trails already in place, and it's compiled of multiple parcels of land designated as permanent open space. One parcel north of the 210 freeway was actually purchased with federal grant money to maintain as permanent open space. So far, I have not heard of anybody else receiving this survey that I received via email and text, and not that it matters, but I'm just curious, who is this possible developer? Where is the property located exactly in the South Hills Wilderness Park? And already, I thought that there's going to be a bike park put in along Glendora Avenue, north of the 210 freeway, and we already have a Dawson Teen Center, which I consider is a community center, and the LaFetra Center. So I was just curious what the genesis of this survey was. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Erica. And my last card in hand is, once again, our Assistant Chief from the Los Angeles County Fire Department, Mr. Steve Cabrera. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, council. Good evening, residents of Glendora. I'm Steve Cabrera, your Assistant Fire Chief, and I have two items of interest for the fire department, just for basically the awareness of everybody within the city. The first item of interest is our State Fire Marshal, CAL FIRE, has recently updated the local responsibility area mapping for fire hazard severity zones, and the state requires each city, incorporated as well as LA County unincorporated parcels, to adopt an ordinance, the new updated maps. So the rollout for those maps was on March 24th, and they give us roughly 120 days to adopt an ordinance. So just a reminder, I've been working with Mr. City Manager on that, gave him some information, and we'll be welcoming any questions that the city may have and his staff with adopting an ordinance on that. The second thing is annual inspections are coming. So that's what we call in the fire department our defensible space inspections. And roughly your firefighters will visit all the identified parcels with improved properties on those fire hazard severity zone areas. And they'll do an inspection of the properties and give recommendations to the residents. So once again, that will start May 1st. And all the residents that were declared on an inspection list should have received notification in the mail this past February. Other than that, looking forward to answer any questions. I can work with Mr. City Manager if you guys have any questions with that. But other than that, thank you very much.
Thank you for that valuable information and the willingness to share it. So appreciate that. Thank you, Chief. Is there any other persons wanting to public comment? Seeing none, do we have any correspondence, Madam Clerk?
We do not, Mayor.
Okay, then as such, I will close public comment and bring it back to members for comments. And actually, perhaps if I can interrupt before that, Adam, could you offer comments on the survey, please?
Do you want me to answer both of those topics that were raised, or just the survey?
Survey and the
Sure.
security issues? Yeah,
Sir-
if you can. I was
Yeah,
going to ask the
talking
captain
with-
too, but that'd be fine.
With Captain Gold back there. So we've been in contact with several neighbors in the Morgan Ranch community over the past several weeks. Staff met with the HOA board, who wanted to meet first before scheduling a community-wide meeting. So that meeting occurred last Friday. Captain Gold just let me know that as soon as the HOA, we're waiting on the HOA board to provide us dates for the community meeting. So all those conversations have been happening over the past several weeks. Again, they met with the HOA board from Morgan Ranch last Friday, and we're waiting on them for available dates, and we'll schedule that community-wide meeting on that front.
Okay, I'll ask Mr. Nyack's acknowledging, so you're aware that those meetings are in process. Okay, good. Thank you.
Perfect. A community survey. So the city periodically, every 2 to 3 years, takes a survey of its residents. We've been doing it since 2011. All of those surveys, I think there are 2011, 14, 16, 18, 2022, and this will be the most recent one in 2025. We've also done surveys on a facility bond, homelessness, and a police chief survey, where we also ask quality of life questions. Each community survey, the city council or the city takes the opportunity to measure 2 areas in more depth. In the most recent community survey that went out, the city did 2 areas. One is emergency preparedness. We've asked these questions back in 2014 with our own experience with fires, and we'll do it again this time to get a baseline for emergency preparedness. And the second piece is at the city council's strategic planning workshop. One of the questions that came up was the city about every 10 years gets or receives some interest about South Hills development. No specific person in general or firm or company, but relative interest always comes up. It's happened a couple times in my almost 7 years now as well. The city council included in the strategic plan that was presented to this body at the last city council meeting to do some initial surveying of the community to see if any development would even be tolerated. The questions that were there by Ms. Landman, as she stated, were the 3 basic questions, which are, do you know where South Hills is? How often do you frequent? And if there was a development proposal that provided some enhanced community benefits, would that be supportive? And again, that information will just be to come back to City Council when we present the entire report, which is likely in May. The entire community survey, which talks about quality of life and other aspects. So all that information is public. On our website now is all 7 or 8 of the community surveys we've done. So if you go to the city's website and search community surveys, all that information comes up. So just part and parcel of the normal survey work that we do periodically.
Okay, very well.
Mr. Mayor, may I, can you just to clarify,
Yeah.
there is no developer, there is no development?
No.
It's just a what if?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And since we're on that side of the room, Mr. Attorney, have you anything that you'd like to share?
Nothing further to add. That was great. Thanks.
Okay. I'll bring it back to the members for comments and begin with Shauna.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. About a week or so ago, I had another opportunity to spend some time with another one of our departments. So I just wanted to say a quick thank you. I see Bill back there, way back there. I spent the day with Bill and his team. Bill's with Public Works, and we went around the city to all of our water facilities, and my mind was blown, just like the amount of the process to get, we at home, you turn the tap and water comes out, and you don't think about everything that it takes to get it there and have it clean and, good water pressure. It's a lot. His team is absolutely incredible. That was a really fun day. I also had an opportunity to see our public works yard that I've heard so much about. I was very tempted to take more video, but I figured I spent too much time on social media posting about the library. I'd give it a rest. But somebody had mentioned before, it's like a bunch of buildings kind of cobbled together, and yeah, that's exactly what it is. So anyways, it was a great learning experience, and I genuinely appreciate your time. So thanks, Bill. And then I just wanted to say, I know we don't have our high school students here today, but I'd be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to our Glendora High School representative, Lily Lusk. Lily's on the softball team at Glendora, and I'm so proud of her. She hit a home run the other day. So I just, as a former softball player, that I thought was really special. And we have a lot of great athletes across all three of our high schools. So congratulations to all of them. But because Lily comes here once a month, I figured I'd give her a little shout out as well. So that's it for me.
Okay. Thank you, Shauna. Mendel.
Mr. Mayor, thank you. I have a topic to talk about. So April 1st has come and gone, and I don't know what you think about April 1st, but the culture that we have is it's April Fool's Day. And that was not the case this year in the areas that I'm going to talk about. So April 1st showed the start of a rise in sales tax because of Measure A. Measure A was voted on last year. It passed, and now on April 1st, the sales tax has gone up. Second of all, thankfully, you, the people, said, we don't want the county to keep that tax, but we would rather have our share of that here. So Measure Z passed, and even though sales tax has gone up, that part of that tax is staying here. So I just want to say thank you. We all want, just want to say thank you. Thirdly, the housing authority that the county board set up was taken away. And on April the 2nd, I don't know if you can read this, SUPS, that's the County Board of Supervisors, they okayed a new housing authority. Now, let me just say that I was ecstatic that LASHA was taken away. They were sadly inept. Audits that they had done, they failed. They couldn't account for a lot of money, a couple billion with a B. There's a judge that is handling that, and he has used words that are stronger than I just used. So I'm thankful that the county board saw the ineptness and removed them from handling a lot of money that is gone, that is to be used to help those that are unhoused. The concern is, though, that the county board is setting that up, and we're not sure how the new group is going to handle the monies that are still ours. We currently think we're going to get about 180 grand, and that sounds like a lot of money to most people, but compared to what's being raised, it's hardly anything. So I am hopeful that the county board gives more attention to how money is raised and how it's shared, because at the end of the day, a lot of that rests on us. The second thing is they've established objectives and goals that they don't even know how to assess what those goals and objectives are in terms of are they being met or not. They've set goals that the city of LA has never been able to meet. So what's going to happen to everybody else that is under now these goals and objectives that are being worked on and talked about? And once again, I do applaud what they've done, but I hope that if they're watching this or if they hear about it, that they will take some of these issues to heart, because it's a matter of managing a lot of money. It's a matter of helping those that need help in a way that that we should be doing it. But the billions that have not been accounted for have not gone to really help those that need it most. So I just think that we need to be aware of what some headlines are, and we need to make sure that that things are being done as they should. And I don't know if I stirred up a hornet's nest among my peers, but I just think that that's a very really important thing. So thank you.
Thank you, Mendel. Karen?
Follow up on what Mr. Thompson just said. We are very fortunate in Glendora that we partner with the San Gabriel Valley Council of Governments, and I serve on the Homelessness Committee. We had a presentation this last week talking about some of those changes, but the COG are great advocates, and they bring many of the cities together in the San Gabriel Valley to work as a larger group with more leverage and ability to barter and leverage on our behalf for some of the dollars out there and to help get answers to questions. So we're very lucky to be part of that organization as they represent us. Closer to home, April, a lot of great things. Coming up on April 19th is the annual Easter egg hunt at both Gladstone Park and Finkbeiner Park. Free pancakes at 9 a.m. The Easter egg hunt starts at 10 a.m. If you get there at 10:01 or even 10 and 30 seconds, you will have missed it. It happens very quickly. So thank you to the Kiwanis Club for helping with that. And then on April 26th, Earth Day at Finkbeiner Park. Also, there'll be some pickup sites here in the City Hall parking lot, so you can check out these flyers and find out more. And then if that's not enough activity for you, on April 30th, you can get up bright and early, and at 7 a.m. be at the Country Club for the annual Mayor's Prayer Breakfast, which I'm sure the mayor's going to say more about as well. But those are just three of the things coming up in April.
Thank you, Karen. Michael?
Thank you, David. So a week ago this last Friday, I attended a policy committee for the League of California Cities. We were briefed on a number of different topics, one of which was how AI is changing the face of how governments work and how it's being implemented. And I'm pleased to say that our own Sam is part of that coalition, and he's been working diligently on working on his own AI model for the city, and hopefully soon that will be launched. I'm not sure exactly when, but we are progressing forward with it. There's some amazing things that AI is doing for many different cities and getting more relevant data at a quicker pace. But we were also told about the budget. So the governor's budget is proposed right now before the May revise is $322.3 billion. He took $16.9 billion from the rainy day fund, leaving only $15 billion left in that fund, which is a little concerning. And on top of that, there's a $47 billion estimate deficit right now, which is on the conservative side. It looks like it might be even larger than that. So again, the May revise might be quite different. We're going to have to wait now till November, since there's a lot of extensions given out, particularly for the County of Los Angeles. And so we don't know exactly what the numbers are going to be back for the revenue coming into the state, because the largest is the income tax. So that number could rise. And another disconcerting fact is that there was 2,495 new bills put in the legislature. It just blew the league's mind away, because they're trying to tackle each one of those and find out, to oppose, to not to oppose, to support, and it's really disconcerting. The city has opposed SB 79, the Scott Wiener bill, that would allow 120 units per acre with a 7-story tall building at a transit-rich facility. That means that hypothetically, where the station is right there, they can have a 7-story building there, 120 units per acre, by right, without city involvement. So there's things of this nature that are really disconcerting, and that's only just one of the bills. Could I have the Chief Cabrera come on back up again? On the new fire rules and laws, there seems to be some confusion out there. Most people are completely unaware of the defensible space rules that have changed. Could you maybe brief a little bit about that? Maybe we can get the word out and help some folks.
So I believe the confusion on the defensible space rules, the big question right now is Zone 0. So Zone 0 is a requirement from 0 to 5 feet from your structure on when will Zone 0 be implemented. So the state of California has already approved that with Senate bills and Assembly bills. But the County of Los Angeles Fire Department has not adopted the Zone 0 at this time. The fire chief is looking into establishing a rollout of Zone 0, possibly a 3-year rollout, where you can't potentially just have every homeowner adhere to that Zone 0 within 3 months. It's just impractical.
Can you
So-
explain Zone 0? People understand what that really is?
Yeah, so Zone 0 means that within 0 to 5 feet from your home or any improved structure, you would have to have it clean of all vegetation and any flammable materials. So I know a lot of homes in Glendora, they have a wood fence that, obviously anchors to the wall of their home. That would be one of the things that you would have to remove within that 5-foot span. And of course, all your beautiful, vegetation you have for plants and all that too, that's going to come into play with that Zone 0. So our forestry division is working on the Zone 0 parameters and how that would look like with ultimate approval of the fire chief and the board of supervisors. So that could be one of the items you could be talking about, unless you have anything else.
No, that's it. Is there any help that we can give you with the supervisors?
I think the fire chief's been briefing them pretty well. Yeah, Catherine Barger is on it. She's, because of her district, she has to be aware of all the changes with defensible space. She's actually very aware of the new state fire marshal LRA mapping, and her office has been very supportive as well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Chief.
You got it.
That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Chief. Thank you, Michael. Real brief, just lots of fun activities coming up in the next month of time frame. So we've heard a little bit about the Easter egg hunt and Earth Day. So get outside, better than yard work. Come out and have fun and see the rabbit and a few other things that the city is putting together. It's great programs. Invite you to do so. The Mayor's Prayer Breakfast on April 30th that Karen alluded to. The Ministerial Society is putting together a great program. Guest speaker will be Dr. Keith Hall from Azusa Pacific University with a great message, so I invite you to come see that. See me for tickets. We can arrange that. And the last item I want to share is on, I believe, Thursday, May 8th, at the Crowther Teen Center on Dawson will be the State of the City program at 5:30 in the evening. Be a little bit different than what you may be used to, so come out and see something new, something different, learn about your city, and opportunity to engage in a veteran rerun. So come on out, look forward to seeing that. As far as Measure A, there's laws for those things. Most people would be in the big house for doing the things they're doing. And other than that, we'll leave it alone. On to some more fun. We have a handful of proclamations. We did already recognize, if you're following the agenda, the Foothill Christian School students, as I shared, for the great accomplishment of 4 of their students being invited to a national runoff, if you will, of kind of like a spelling bee, but it's a history trivia type thing. So 4 of their students are headed to Florida in just a few weeks. So congratulations to them, and we wish them well. Our next item is to proclaim April as Earth Day, and Councilmember Elias will make that presentation. Please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have the honor of being given the opportunity to make this proclamation for Recycling and Organics Separation Day to our friends at Athens Services. Gosh, it's been like a month, I guess, since I was able to go with Athens to their facilities and actually see the sorting of the recyclables and organic waste. And it was such a fun day. I also had the honor of working with them through Cullen School, through my role on PTA, as they started the rollout for Glendora Unified School District of the sorting and composting program. So that was really fun. So let me do this. It's a long one, so everybody buckle in. Whereas Earth Day, a nationally recognized event in the United States, serves as a global reminder of the need to protect and preserve our environment for future generations. And whereas the City of Glendora is committed to sustainability and environmental stewardship through initiatives that promote waste reduction, recycling, and the proper management of organic materials. And whereas California State Senate Bill 1383, which mandates the reduction of organic waste disposal in landfills, went into effect to reduce methane emissions and ensure a more sustainable future, emphasizing the importance of organic waste recycling and separation. And whereas the City of Glendora, in partnership with Athens Services, a family-owned business proudly serving the community since 1957, continues to lead by example by implementing programs that support SB 1383 and make it easier for residents and businesses to participate in recycling and organics separation efforts. And whereas Athens Services has been proudly serving the City of Glendora since 1991, providing waste management services that align with state sustainability goals and enhancing the community's efforts to reduce, recycle, and properly manage organic waste. And whereas the separation of recyclables and organic waste plays a critical role in reducing landfill waste, conserving natural resources, and lowering greenhouse gas emissions. And whereas the City of Glendora recognizes that by separating recyclable and organic materials from trash, residents, businesses, and city facilities can actively contribute to a cleaner, greener, and more sustainable community. And whereas the city encourages all residents to participate in recycling and organic separation efforts by properly sorting their waste into designated bins for recyclables, organic materials, and trash. And whereas the City of Glendora is committed to continuing efforts to educate and engage the public in sustainability practices, ensuring a future that benefits all members of our community and the environment. Now, therefore, Mr. David Friedendahl, Mayor of the City of Glendora, does hereby proclaim April 22nd, 2025 as Recycling and Organics Separation Day in honor of Earth Day 2025 and calls upon all residents, businesses, and visitors of Glendora to rededicate themselves to environmental responsibility by actively participating in recycling and organics separation programs. Together, we can create a sustainable future for our community and the planet. That was a mouthful. So now I get to present this to Danae Amaya from Athens Services.
Ooh, grab that photo op.
I just want to say a couple things. Our Earth Day event will take place again on Saturday, April 26th from 9 to 1. We have two locations now. The back parking lot of City Hall will be for beverage containers, used motor oil and filters, and shredding where that is a big thing here. We can limit it to 10 boxes. And then all other activities take place at Finkbeiner Park at the band shell area. This year, we're highlighting emergency preparedness. We have LA County Fire is going to be there and some others helping us out. And then we have two new items that are going to be there. We have the tour of the Urban Trail on the Cullen and Mountain View, and they'll do little seminars at 9:30, 10:30, and 11:30, and you'll walk from there till Live Oak along the trail there behind the church. And then we're doing a tree planting for Arbor Day, working with Public Works, and do a tree planting demonstration, and that will take place at 10 a.m. at the Shade Structure. So we hope everybody can come on out and join us there at either spot.
Great. Thank you, John, and for your entire team for making it a wonderful day. Yeah, if we can do a group picture there. And I believe Danae has a bit of a share for us from Athens, so welcome.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Danae Amaya. I'm a Director of Government Affairs for Athens Services. Before I begin, I am so sorry about that really long proclamation. I should have read it shorter, but hey, I wanted to make sure we got everything in. I'm so excited to be here today, especially during April. It is Earth Month. It's like the Super Bowl for Athens with all the environmental events going on, so we're just so excited to be here today. I want to just touch on a few points that we've been participating in the community. We kicked off Earth Month with a compost and mulch giveaway, and we had 330 residents join. We spoke to every single resident. They were just so happy to be able to be provided with free compost and free mulch to provide nutrients to their yards and to their plants. During this month and all months moving forward, we are providing recycling presentations and source separation resources for local organizations. In April, we're meeting with the Glendora Coordinating Council and being able to be the speaker and presenter and talk all things trash, so we're looking forward to that. If any community organizations would like us to provide a professor, would be happy to. Also, just saying, Glendora residents do a really great job at recycling their organics and following our 3-stream process, so give it up to Glendora residents, and we're just so happy to be an environmental partner in the city. Also, just lastly, a project coming up in the San Gabriel Valley. Our neighbors in Irwindale, we have a materials recovery facility being open in the summer of 2025. Many of the materials being sorted in the city of Glendora will be taken to that facility. So as we get closer, we'd love for you guys to tour, just kind of see what that project looks like and see how we can be a community partner from that project aspect. But I just appreciate you guys allowing me to be here today. It's always an honor to be up here and be in the presence of our local leaders and work together. So thank you so much for your partnership, and happy Earth Month.
Thank you, Danae, and thank you, Athens Services, for your continued partnership in our community.
Thank you.
And John, Earth Day and Easter, boy, great stuff coming up for you guys. So it's a good deal. All right. Our next item is a proclamation of April for National Public Safety Telecommunications Week, and Councilmember Davis will make that presentation, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Whereas public safety telecommunicators are the first and most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services, they are the vital link between the citizen or victim and the public safety provider who may apprehend a criminal, save their possessions from fire, or save their life or the life of someone else. And whereas each day public safety telecommunicators answer desperate calls for help, responding with services that save the lives and property of citizens in need of assistance, and whereas the safety of our police officers and firefighters is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained from citizens who call the Glendora 911 Communications Center, and whereas public safety telecommunicators of the Glendora Police Department have contributed substantially to the apprehension of criminals and treatment of patients, and whereas during 2024, Glendora dispatchers handled a total of 36,640 calls for service, with 14,935 being 911 emergency calls. The phones in our dispatch center rang a total of 88,969 times during 2024. And whereas Glendora's dispatchers exhibit compassion, understanding, and professionalism while performing their job every day of the year. Now therefore be it resolved that the mayor and the city council of Glendora do hereby declare the week of April 13th through 19th, 2025 as National Public Safety Telecommunications Week in the city of Glendora in honor of the men and women whose diligence and professionalism keep our city safe and our residents safe. Dated this 8th day of April, 2025. So they are the voices that reassure our citizens and guide and inform our officers. And tonight, the epitome, the example of all of those amazing attributes is the phenomenal and amazing Corey Ennis, who is a PSR2. Corey, in addition to answering the calls and the dispatch center, also has worked with our Foothill Special Enforcement team and has taught at the Community Academy. If you've ever taken that, you've been there to learn from his knowledge and experience and all of those things that happen behind that headset that are amazing. So Corey, thank you for all that you do.
Mr. Ennis, you're welcome to share some words.
Yes, please. I just want to say thank you for this proclamation and thank you on behalf of all of our dispatchers that staff our center 24 hours a day, ensuring the safety and community service and well-being of our community. So just thank you very much for the proclamation. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank your team for all they do for us. Thank you. All right, next we'll have a proclamation by Councilmember Alawas for National Library Week, and receiving this evening will be Gardena, Glendora Board of Library Trustee Erica Landman. Thank you.
Whereas libraries spark creativity, fuel imagination, and inspire lifelong learning, offering a space where individuals of all ages can explore new ideas and be drawn to new possibilities. Libraries connect people with knowledge, technology, resources, and have containers of information. I kind of threw that one in there. Sorry, Janet. While strengthening civic engagement, critical thinking, lifelong learning, economic success, and quality of life. Whereas library funding supports equality access to ideas in multiple formats, ensuring that all individuals, regardless of background, have the support they need to learn, connect, and thrive. Whereas libraries partner with schools, businesses, and organizations, connecting the dots to maximize resources, increase efficiency, and expand access to essential services, strengthening the entire community. Libraries nurture young minds through a storytime, STEM program, and literacy innovations, fostering curiosity and love of learning that lasts a lifetime. Whereas libraries protect the rights to read, think, and explore, standing as champions of intellectual freedom and free expression. Whereas dedicated librarians, and library workers provide welcoming spaces that inspire discovery, collaboration, and creativity for all. Therefore, let it be resolved that the mayor of the city of Glendora has proclaimed April 6th through the 12th of 2025 as National Library Week. During this week, the mayor is encouraging all residents to explore their opportunities through the library and to celebrate all the ways that the library draws us together and the community. You know, we have an amazing library, but what makes the library amazing is the people who run it. Because you can have books, you can have a container, as it were, but it's the people who make everything work, and the hospitality they offer, and the encouragement, and the programs. It's just absolutely amazing. Again, without you folks, we just have a box with books in it. So thank you all.
Wow, thank you so much. That was so nicely worded. Well, on behalf of the Glendora Library Board of Trustees, thank you for the recognition of National Library Week. Thank you so much. That was really nicely written. So, every day, the Glendora Library staff is playing an active role in being the glue that strengthens and brings all parts of the community together. Lives are being transformed daily, and children of all ages have the opportunity to explore their creative outlets and to discover new ideas. The Glendora Library can trace its ancestry back to 1903 when the Athena Group worked to create a reading room for the city. At that time, a seed had been planted for the city to have a larger library, which we now have today, and that had been erected back in 1972. I encourage everyone to check out all the wonderful things that the library does every day for the community. Come and check out the innovative ideas the Glendora Public Library Friends Foundation have helped to sponsor. There will be some cool escape room opportunities offered this week as well. So I know that's very popular with kids. So if anyone would like to get involved in supporting or volunteering at the library, stop by and ask an esteemed staff member how you can help. Be prepared to be impressed. So thank you again.
Thank you, Erica. And thank you all the recipients tonight for the great things they contribute to our community. Moving on, we come to the consent calendar. Items on the consent calendar, items 9 through 11, will be enacted by one motion without individual discussion unless a council member chooses to have something removed for a separate discussion. Does anyone wish to pull an item?
No, I moved
Seeing
items
none?
9 through 11 on the consent.
Okay, as
I'll
a
second
motion,
it.
I have a motion by Mr. Alalos, a second by Mrs. Davis, and I would ask at this point if we will please vote. Oop, screen looks different. There we go. Looks like the motion carries at 5-0. Thank you very much. And a piece of new business. Finally get to learn what this bus token is that I have on my desk for a ride on the Tangerine Transport. So, a presentation by Director William Whitkoff from the Public Works Department to award an agreement to Big Bend, Inc. for the Lone Hill Water Main Relining Project in the amount of $572,000. Mr. Whitkoff, welcome.
Yes. Thank you, Honorable Mayor and Council. I appreciate you letting me have the time to present tonight. We are going to be talking about the resolution to declare an emergency, also the repair of a 16-inch water main, and awarding an agreement to Big Bend for that repair. So just a little bit of background. This primary transmission line helps to deliver water across the city and the eastern portion of the city to a couple of our booster stations, to the Eastern Hills, the Morgan Ranch area, Foothill Boulevard, some of Gordon Highlands, and to our local reservoirs. So without this line, it would make it difficult for us to move water, especially in case of an emergency. While we have some backup routes and ability to move some water to that part of the city, if we happen to have a small brush fire, home fire, something like that, without this line in place, it would be difficult for us to move that water through and meet those needs. So that's why this really is an emergency for us. A couple of things here show this is the relining of the 16-inch transmission line, which was from the 1930s, about 600 linear feet worth of line, which you can see in the picture as the red line there. Also replacing about 100 linear feet of the blue line that you can see there, and I'll talk about that in a minute. We have some updates to that. Install a new fire hydrant and a new 16-inch valve so we can isolate this line if we ever need to do more work out there. You can see from kind of the satellite view that the infrastructure and topography would make it virtually impossible for us to replace this line in a traditional manner, meaning we would come in, dig a trench, abandon the old line, and put a new line in. That line runs underneath some homes, some ADUs, a garage, underneath a bunch of beautiful trees, and is really just incredibly difficult for us to get to. So that's one of the reasons why we decided to try something new, which was this relining process. The other thing that's important to note on this picture, you can see on the kind of the lower left-hand corner by the address there for that 1856, that's where the water surfaced. That's where it came up, and that's where the first complaint came in. If you look all the way over where the red and the blue line touch, that's where the actual leak was, and that's going to be important as we get a little bit further into the presentation. So on December 30th, we had the initial call for service, and we were able to find the leak on January 29th, and a lot of people said, oh my goodness, including some of the residents, why is it taking so long to find that leak? Well, a couple of reasons. When the leak is 400 to 500 feet away from where we're seeing the water, there's an awful lot to chase down. There was some other abandoned infrastructure that was in there that was giving us some false readings. And more importantly, you can see from the picture here, there's a significant amount of overburden on top of that line that's there. At the very bottom of the picture, you can see there's kind of a little round line going there. That's actually the water transmission line that was buried underneath all of that dirt. So that's why it took us a bit to get to that point. Again, like I talked about, that 16-inch transmission line was put in 1930, and we found out that it had been remortared back in 1997. So because of the severity of the leak and the age of the line and where it ran, we needed to isolate that line, so we turned that off. That impacted a few residents, which meant we had to provide a temporary water service. So when you see when it says we highlined a water line to them, that basically means that we ran some water from one of the mains basically above ground. So through a, almost like a hose, but it's approved, wouldn't be like a garden hose, something approved to actually move potable water. So we had to do that. We wanted to make sure we got that water supply to them. As we were looking at that 16-inch transmission line, we were able to establish new services to those residents that were impacted. So they're back, they have new services, and we moved to fire hydrant. One of the reasons for that, in the liner that we put in, we don't want to poke holes in that liner once we put it in the pipe, because if we poke a hole in it, it has an opportunity to leak. So we worked through that. On February 3rd, we actually ran a video camera through that water line to inspect it and see what the inside of that line looked like. We were able to see the lot in the mortar had failed. The line itself started to decompress. It had cracks in it. And there were also some old lines that came off of that that had been abandoned. And when they abandoned those old lines, they just put a valve in, turned the valve off, cut the line, and said, okay, we're good to go. Well, over time, those valves started to corrode and started to fail, and that's where some of the leaks came from. So as a result of that, we decided the best thing we could probably do would be to come in and work on that relining process. So here's a few pictures of what that looks like. I will say this is the first time that we've done the relining process. That little blue disc that you have is a piece of this relining. It also looks very much like this is the full-size piece of the lining. The lining is a little bit expensive because it has a Kevlar lining inside of it. It's multiple layers. It's supposed to be incredibly strong. We should get at least 50 years of service out of this, so that gives us an opportunity to figure out how we can run a new line in the future if we need to. But I just wanted to kind of let you see what that looks like. It's incredibly stiff and it's very strong. When this line comes off the truck, you can see in the spool that it comes off flat. They roll it through the line. They actually pull it through. So to get started, they run basically a little remote tractor through that water line that pulls a rope through that they hook to a cable and hook to the liner, and they pull it back through the pipe. And once it's through, then they inflate it. So interesting thing when we're talking to the contractors that are out doing the relining part, they actually flew in from Arizona that morning. They just finished the job out there the night before, flew in from Arizona. They worked for us all day, pulled the liner through. That night, they got in their car, they drove down to San Diego. They were going to work there for 2 days, and after that, they were off to the East Coast. So not a lot of people doing this, but the folks that are incredibly busy, and we were very thankful we could get on their schedule. That's why that work was done a few days back, just to make sure back on April 2nd that we started this. If we'd missed this window, it was probably another month and a half before they could get back out. A couple more pictures here. You can see what that looks like as they're pulling that liner through. Again, once the liner's all the way through, they cap both ends. They inflate that line. It opens up from that flat part, fills up the side of the pipe, starts to take that round form, and then it cures and stays nice and solid. So that line is in. We've just about got the other lines replaced, the fire hydrant in. We hope to start the hydrostatic testing and chlorination tomorrow. If everything goes well and we get through that, hopefully this line will actually be in service the next week, maybe 2 weeks on top of that. So very excited to see this come through. It was kind of a long process to get to this point, but I will say that the staff over in Water, Big Ben, and everybody else that helped us with this process did an amazing job. And we were able to try something new and save, I think, a lot of unnecessary impacts to our resident and get a very much needed transmission line back in service. So with that, we have 5 recommendations that we'd like the council to consider. I'm not going to read them because they were in your agenda packet and they're also on the slide. So that concludes my presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have this evening.
Great. Thank you, Bill. Pretty fascinating. having experienced a smaller version of that at my home, I can only appreciate it. So that's a great job. Karen, any comments, questions?
No, I just think it's amazing. It's kind of like the stent of the water world.
Yes,
And
exactly.
so that is fabulous. So thank you for acting on that and coming up with a solution for a very difficult problem. I know that that whole neighborhood there's been discussion at different times about the water lines and the difficulty in getting to those. So that's great. Thank you.
Great. Mendel?
No, I would echo that. Just a super job, and thank you for getting it fixed. Thanks.
Okay. Shauna?
No questions for me, but I think this is fascinating, especially on the heels of my time with you. It's
Perfect timing.
apropos timing. So, thank you.
Michael?
Great report. You answered all my questions, but you added a couple to me. And the cure, how does it cure?
From what I understand, as it's packaged, it's got a plastic liner around it, and when they open that liner up and they pressurize it, it activates a curing process within the line. So it has some kind of a chemical in there that gets activated when it's opened up and put under pressure.
Like a glow stick, huh?
Kind of, yeah, exactly.
You added some new pipe, a 16-inch.
We did. So, yeah, we had a section of the ductile iron pipe that we needed to add. I did find out this morning that while we'd originally talked about adding 100 feet, as we started to excavate back from that picture I showed you where the pit was, we found a nice clean section that ductile iron was a little bit closer, so we actually didn't have to do the full 100 feet of new pipe. We only went about 10 or 12 feet. So we'll install the fire hydrant and the 16-inch valve, and we'll be ready to go.
Which leads me into my last question. How do you find a leak in such a long pipe?
Yeah, that was a tough one. We were very fortunate that in this last budget cycle, the council and city manager approved some new leak detection equipment for us. The staff, actually, we had the manufacturer out. It was perfect timing. We got the equipment, and they were out there with us for about a month trying to trace that down. So when you're 10, 12 feet below the surface, it makes it a little bit more difficult. Through the last, since the 30s, people have regraded that area. So what we had as builds and drawings weren't necessarily accurate to where everything was, but we were able to finally find it. So it was very tricky, turning the water on, turning it off, trying to send tracers through that pipe, but the staff were able to get that taken care of. So it was a huge win for them.
So moving forward, we have some new tech to find
We do.
leaks.
Yep,
That
absolutely.
should save us some time, be a little more efficient.
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you, Michael, and thank you, Bill. I have no questions. With that, I'll request a motion to,
I'll move items
action.
1 through 5.
Second?
motion by Michael and a second by Mendel. Please vote. Looks like motion passes 5-0. Motion passed. Thank you very much. With that, we have concluded our agenda's business. I'll bring it back for any closing comments by staff. Mendel?
I want for Captain Gold to come up here because she has a better grasp of the flock system that we have. And our friend from Morgan Ranch and I just want you to know that that we've already taken some steps to try to ensure the reason that you moved here and that we all moved here. And last month, we authorized us buying, I think, 11 additional flock cameras. And could you just explain quickly so that they will understand it? You can share this with others because I know that there's been some robberies where you live and maybe one other place in town. But I think it's important that you know that we're aware of these things and that we're taking steps to try to give our team all of the tools that they need to capture those folks that are doing a criminal act. So could you just give a little bit about what they are and what they do in terms of what they read, and then maybe an example of how it's worked?
Of course. Thank you, Councilmember Thompson. Your community will get a lot of this information repeated in depth when you have your neighborhood meeting. Yeah. So The approval was for 11 additional flock cameras. Flock cameras are license plate and vehicle camera readers. What they do is they pick up the traffic patterns as the cars go through the camera system. It is stored, and those license plates are compared against known wanted vehicles, stolen vehicles, could be missing person vehicles. It also keeps that data for a period of time, so it makes it searchable in the event that there is some sort of criminal activity or any other investigation that's needed. The information that's gathered doesn't relate to any one person. It's specifically for the vehicle's make, model, color. If there's a sticker in a window, a dent on the vehicle, you can narrow it down by that to assist in searching. We've used it numerous times. It was in the presentation. If you want to look at last council meeting, there's an entire presentation on Flock attached to the agenda that explains in depth what it is and some of the successes that we've had with it, where we've been able to identify different leads in different crimes that have led to arrests on a broader scale. And this network is something that isn't just for Glendora. This is a network that is throughout California. It's also nationwide, but throughout California, where we share with our law enforcement partners as well to ensure that we're working together in order to stop the criminals when they enter the city, or if that doesn't happen, hopefully get good solid leads in order to track them down after the crimes have occurred.
Great, thank you. So I hope that gives you a little bit of hope and a little sense that we're really doing some stuff that probably a lot of people don't even know about unless you've been here to hear what Captain Gold talked about. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
The questions that we have is that
Have them come up
what
to
is the reason this,
Yeah, yeah.
what is the reason this has sparked in the last, 6 months, 8 months? I mean, we lived
Well-
here for a long time, we never had this problem.
Yeah, unfortunately, this isn't the forum to have that kind of a discussion back and forth, but I'm sure that Captain Gold will, in fact, meet with you and give you some of that information and let you know what the impact in the whole region has been, and that sadly, we're not alone, but any event is very personal, so we get that.
Thank you, Mayor.
Anyone else?
Just want to wish everybody a happy Easter.
Okay, thank you, and I don't know if we announced it.
I know, I was just going to say, I think
Today's
we
your
should
birthday, Mr.
adjourn the
Thompson,
meeting
so,
in honor of Mr. Thompson,
Yeah,
his
you know,
birth.
we could.
No, in honor, not memory. Honor, not memory.
In turn of a celebration of living.
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
Yes, that's the difference between
Happy
honor
birthday.
and memorialize.
There you go. Great. Well, with that, yes. I will call the meeting adjourned at 8:16. Thank you.